Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at your life in circles. Your life in the form of circles. Okay, I just made this little illustration. And so this purple circle is the Lord, creator of heaven and earth, the one true God, the most high God. He is omnipresent, right? He's everywhere. But just for the sake of us and our visual limited perspective, let's just say that this is the Lord and this is the rock. Okay, this is the rock. The whole point of this video is that you want to build yourself and your life and everything that you have and that you are on the rock. Okay, that's the point. And this is a little bit of an illustration to show you what that might look like. So this purple circle is the Lord and His purposes for you. It's the Lord and His sacred space for you. I always use this prop. It's a physical example of what a boundary might look like. And so this is a sacred space that God has given you. And you are the only person in the whole world who has authority from Him to take control of this area, to manage it, to be the steward of it. Okay, so that is your job. If you have trouble with it, get help from someone who can help you, because a lot of times we grow up in families and we don't know and we're not taught to manage ourselves. We're controlled, or we are treated in ways that make us feel like that's not supposed to be our job. So make sure that you get help if you're having trouble with your boundaries, because they're very important. Without any boundaries, you can't do the will of God very much, if at all. So that is your goal, right? To do the will of God in life. So having boundaries is one huge first step in that direction. So this would be the boundary of your life, is going to be the rock. And so all these other little circles are things you do, people you know, and I wanted them all inside the circle because each one is being built and established and sustained on the rock, but they wouldn't all fit in. So I put them on the periphery, but they're all established and sustained by the rock and led by the rock. So here we have, this is the Lord and the rock, and you're building your life on Him. When you make a plan or you want to go take karate or whatever you want to do, you say, Lord, everything is just, you offer it up and say, is this yes or no, or wait. So you're always kind of letting Him edit your life, letting Him interrupt you, tap you on the shoulder, letting Him lead you to places where you think, really? You want me to go there? Yeah, come on. So He's going to be doing this all the time, your whole life. And this is just one little snapshot of what your life could look like at one point. So here you are. You have some friends. You have established some good, strong, authentic relationships with other believers. And you can have people outside of that, but you need to have that always in your life, okay? So here you have a couple of coworkers that are very good friends of yours that you can be real with, that you can talk to. You have 3 good friends. Maybe one's from your school years and one is a neighbor and there's another one that you met. But you have these people around you who are supportive of you, okay? Always. And then your spouse, of course, is a big circle, but you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to put all your eggs in the basket of your spouse. Why not? Because however your spouse is, that's how you're going to be. You're being dependent or codependent on your spouse. If you're a man and you're married to a woman and you put all your eggs in her basket and she's having PMS, your world falls apart. Okay, don't do that. Marriage is wonderful. We love our spouses, but you have to spread yourself out to be healthy and to stay stable. Okay? So here's your spouse, and you're overlapped with your spouse. You do things with her or him. You are in tune with her or him, and you're working out your issues all the time, but you don't want to build your life on your spouse. That's why Jesus said, build your life on the rock, not on your spouse. So here are your friends that you've established that are good friends. What happens if one of them moves away and there's a big gap? Or what if two of them moved away? You know what the Lord's going to do? He's going to bring somebody in to replace them. It may take a while, it may not. But He's going to keep you supported by people as long as you're open to make those friendships and you're seeking His will. Okay, for your personal life, what do you have? You have your job you go to, maybe every day. Maybe you work 3 12-hour shifts in a week, but you have your job, and that is where you're using your gifts, and you're not miserable there. It doesn't totally drain you, okay? It needs to be neutral or better than that. So if it's really draining or a toxic environment or a hostile work environment, ask the Lord to, in His time and in His way, move you somewhere else, okay? So your job, and then you have your personal life, the things you choose to do in your own personal time when you're free. You may have a hobby. You may love to go hiking, or you may love to take karate, or you may love to study history because you just love it so much. Whatever it is, you have a hobby that you keep doing, or maybe more than one. And so that helps you be stable. You maintain your social life. Yes, you have these core friends, but depending on how extroverted you and your spouse are, you're going to have more or less of a social life, okay? And that's very important, especially for the more extroverted people. And then exercise is going to be another important area of your life that you need to develop and maintain. Okay, even if you are 100 years old, you still can benefit from exercise, okay? So exercise is good because the human body is the one machine that when you don't use it, it gets worse. All the other machines in the world, when you don't use them, they get better because they're not being, obsolescence isn't taking place. So, but anyway, here's your life. And so you're kind of building it on the rock, and you're going along. And if you're just starting to do this now, and you are thinking, well, what about all the things I've established from the past that I'm still doing now? Well, don't freak out. Don't have black and white thinking in this. Just say, Lord, show me what to do. You have purchased me in totality. I am your purchased possession. So run my life for me. Show me what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to walk by faith. And I know that you have the power and the ability to get my attention, however that may be, because He knows, because He wired you. So you would be open to Him editing whatever you had established kind of on your own before. And then He can lead you into a better place that's more stable, and that where you're going to be bearing more fruit. See? So just let Him do this gradually over time. And so Jesus Christ is the rock. We know that. He is your life source. Okay? Your spouse is not your life source. Get that out of your mind. I know that you've been brainwashed by the fairy tales and the shows on TV and the movies, but it is not a good idea to try to make your spouse your life source. Okay? There are so many ways that is just wrong, okay? So just don't do it. Your spouse, I'm sure they're wonderful, and they have a lot of wonderful qualities, but they're a human being. They're a human being, and that's the big red flag, that they're not a life source if they're a human, see? Humans don't have what the Lord has. So you want the Lord to be your life source, ultimately. People that are filled with Him, and have messages from Him, yes, you can get support from them, but remember that they're just human. It's coming from Him. So the Lord can be your companion. Say you're divorced and you have been dating people and you just are kind of depressed because you can't find anybody. The Lord is there with you. He sticks closer than a brother, and He will take care of you, and you can spend time with Him. So say you're a widow or a widower. Well, you can have a companion with the Lord until, if and when you find someone else to spend your life with. The Lord will lead, guide, and direct you. He loves to guide you. And if you notice here, the word dance is in this word. You and I dance. So there is a dance going on as he's guiding you. You're learning his ways. He will help you with any heart issues you have. Whatever is hurting in your heart, that is what you need to deal with. And that pain is telling you, now it's time to deal with it. Just like when you have to use the bathroom, your body says, hello, yeah, I need to go now. So you go, same thing. When your heart is hurting or you're struggling with a depression or some loss or some anxiety, your body and your self is trying to tell you something. So you need to listen to yourself and be in tune with yourself. The Lord is your healer. The Lord is your counselor. He's your refuge, and he's ultimately your rock. Okay, what else? Oh, and we went over the hula hoop. The hula hoop is the boundary of your life, the sacred space that God has given you. Whoever you are, if you're on this earth, that you have a sacred space, and it is your job to maintain it. God has given you this. It's everything. He really owns everything, but he's assigned territory to us to be a steward of. And so that's why I'm saying take ownership of it in that way as a steward. So the hula hoop is important, and you'll get more familiar with the hula hoop the more you think about boundaries, start to apply them, start to renew your mind in that way, and you'll get more comfortable with them. This is going to be your life in Christ. Your whole life is going to be in Christ. You're going to feel like your whole life is in Christ the more you let him lead, guide, and direct you, and the more you realize you don't own your own life. Even if you are not saved and you are watching this video, you still do not own your life. Your soul is going to be owned by Satan when you die if you don't come to Jesus Christ. Okay? So, but even if you're saved, your soul belongs to the Lord because he's purchased you. And when you buy something, how do you know how much it's worth? You know how much it's worth by how much you pay to get it. Okay? So if I go to the store and I want a loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread is $5, well, let me check and see if I have $5. Oh, I got $5. I can get the bread. So I go get the bread, bring it up to the counter. She rings it up. I give her the $5. She gives me the bread in the bag, and she gives me a receipt. And so, see, I gave her the $5. She gave me the bread. It was an equal exchange, and it was fair market value for what I bought. I paid fair market value. Okay, so Jesus Christ has purchased our souls, the souls of the saints, the ones who believe in the world, the ones who believe that Jesus Christ died and rose to give them new life and has paid for their sins. So those are the believers. Those people have been purchased. So how do we know how much the saints are worth to the Lord? How do we know? We know by how much he paid to get them back. He paid his own very life, becoming a human and dying a gory, bloody, gruesome death for them. That was how much they're worth, and that's how much we're worth today. So that's just a little digression into how much you're worth, so that you will be motivated to, get in tune with the Lord in your life. Give him territories and let him help you with things. Surrender these agendas that you have. Well, I have to do this because mom always said this, or I have to do this because my big brother said I'll never be anybody. Get rid of all that, or submit it to the Lord and ask him what you can do with that, and he'll help gracefully get rid of it for you. But you want to just be submitting things to him and be open and trust him. He has a 10 times better plan for you than you could ever have for yourself. Okay, just know that. It is so true. Your life needs to be boundaried. You can have a fence with gates, or you can have a wall with doors, however you want to see it. You need boundaries. Boundaries are for protection. They protect you. They're defensive in nature. Okay? And then the whole idea of having your life built on the rock is the point. Okay, so this is just a visual of how someone's life may look at some point. Doesn't mean that your life has to look like this right now, but it's just to give you the idea of, where am I? Well, let me draw my circle and do my other circles to see what I have in my life and how do I want it to be. And say, Lord, Show me where I can fill in the places that I don't know what to do. You're going to ask him and say, I have all this extra time here, 6 hours extra a week, and I already have enough personal time where that's good enough. I don't need extra. So is there anything you would want me to do with this time? That's what I did with one day of the week that I had. I was free, totally free on Fridays, and I really, I didn't need the time. I had done everything that the Lord had led me to do, and Fridays were wide open. And I said, well, if there's anything you want me to do on Friday, let me know. The next week, I meet this lady at church, and she has 4 children. And so for about a year, 2 of the oldest children, they were age 7 and 5, and they came to my house, and they spent time with me, and we just had a really good time. It was for like 4 hours a day. And it helped her not go crazy, and it helped the kids to get into a different energy and environment. So that's just an example of what the Lord might do. So just let go and trust him, and let him surprise you at how wonderful he is and how much he cares for you, because the more you let him in, the more wonderfulness you're going to have. All right. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.